What is really going on? Married men, talk to me. What is really going on? Or should I be talking to the married women? Married women, married men, single women, single men. Holla back. This is why, y'all, I am so thankful, so grateful that I am single, happily single, of course by choice. Often get asked by men, oh, what's up, beautiful woman? Successful woman like you doing single? I'm like, are you kidding me? What is the benefit of being in a relationship? Like, it has to make sense to me. It has to make sense. And granted, I've come across a lot of interesting characters out there, especially living in New York City. I met all kinds of people, man. But it has to make sense. And I go out like I did tonight. Go to one of my favorite restaurants in Brooklyn. It's a Caribbean restaurant. And they grill. And it's funny because everywhere I go, I always get compliments, right? On like my looks, the external. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, your eyes. Even by women. I had like 3 people, including this character that I'm going to delve into in this video here tonight, or shall I say audio. Starting with the woman, like she approached me, right? And she was passing me. She just had to stop, and she touched my elbow, and she's like, I just have to say, your eyes are so beautiful. And she said it like multiple times. I'm just like, thank you. The funny thing is like when you are physically attractive, this is not something that you are not used to, right? Like, I'm used to getting compliments. So it's funny because when like people, they stop and they compliment me on how I look, right? It's just like, okay, thank you, right? But I'm not like overly joyed or floored by their compliment necessarily, because I've been doing this since I was yay high, right? Yeah. And so it's like when she stopped, it's almost like as if like she didn't want to leave. She stood there and she was captivated, and it's just like, I'm like, okay, I said thank you. What else are you expecting from this exchange here? I said thank you actually like damn near 3-4 times, and she was like still standing there looking at me. I'm just like, okay. And then she eventually parted ways and went with her party that she came with to be seated. And so then after that, like this other guy came up to me. Oh, it's just your eyes. I'm just like, interesting, right? It's like back to back. He says, look, your eyes, just something about your eyes. You're so beautiful. You have this aura. And he tells me before he like really gets into it, he's like, yeah, I'm waiting on my wife. I'm just like, okay. And for me, the thing is, and this is not anything new for me, because I would say naturally an introvert. Like, some people say a loner. I wouldn't call myself a loner, but I do like being alone. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. Like, and I've always been this way. Ever since I can remember, ever since I was a little girl, I've always been to myself, right? And I talk about how, like, growing up with my family and how, like, everybody would be, like, out in the living room area, hanging, socializing. And where you can find me? In my bedroom, with the door closed, reading a book just to myself, right? I'm not into that entertaining people and people all up in my fucking face. And that just never really been my thing. Not to say I can't vibe, right? In that type of social setting, of course, right? I can adapt to almost any environment, any setting. But yeah, where you would probably typically find me is just by myself, right? So I'm very comfortable and used to that. So when you come across people who are very comfortable and used to that, like, listen, we are some very powerful, strong people. And I think sometimes other people become intimidated by it because the average person is just not that. In fact, they feel very uncomfortable being alone by themselves. It's like awkward to them, right? So I can stand on my own 2 feet by myself, right? And this guy, like the second person came up to me who complimented me on my eyes. Like he's just like mesmerized and surprised. It's like, oh, you're by yourself? I'm like, yeah, I'm by myself. And I roll it's just what I do. I roll by myself. Very comfortable being alone. I actually prefer it. Unless, of course, like your energy is just, it has to definitely match my energy, compliment me, then, give me a reason for me to kind of break out of me being alone, right? Break out of this shell that I've created for myself and that I just exist in. I feel very comfortable in. Like, I don't know, your energy just has to supersede what my energy brings, right? Can't take away. It has to definitely add to it. Otherwise, I'm not interested. You can't hold my interest. You can't get my interest. I don't know. I'm not interested, right? And sometimes people are just perturbed by this idea, this experience, and trying to connect with me. They're just like, what is it? Like, you're so difficult. Like, what? Like, yo, I don't know. Just like most people just don't have what it takes to be able to afford to be in my presence, to be able to afford to entertain me. So this second person, like, he's trying ever so hard. And of course he expressed that, oh, I'm waiting on my wife, blah, 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 I'm married. I'm just like, okay. And he was like halfway decent. He was Latino. But again, it's like it's really nothing about his presence that I'm attracted to, right? It's just I don't know. It takes. I would say it takes a lot, not necessarily, but it's just a special type of person that really could, when you stand in front of me, and yeah, you'll know, right? If like I'm captivated by your energy, by your presence. And he just wasn't doing it, but I get that he wanted to connect because he was trying really hard to. He was gunning, right? And he was expressing how, oh, I used to live in the neighborhood, and they sharing everything. Like he shared so many different details about his life, but I'm not interested. I was just like, what can you bring to me? What can you add to me? Absolutely nothing. And I say this, one may say with arrogance, but with so much confidence. It's just like, that's the thing. That's why I think people who like myself, are so comfortable in being alone. I don't think you can outdo that, right? Like you like really have to bring something significant to my sphere, to our sphere, people like myself, right? In order for us to be somewhat of an inkling interested in what you have to say and what you bring. Because our aloneness, our singlehood is of so much value to us. Like, how can you outdo that? Like, how can you as a person outdo that level of peace that I've created and maintained for ever so long? It's almost like to even say hello to me, it's just like, funny enough, like, course, I get a lot of inbox messages from people, and they're just like, "Hi, can you tell me more about yourself? Hi, can I ask you a question?" Right? So I made a post the other day to say, like, for people who are in my inbox and it just disturbs me. Y'all don't get it. It just disturbs me. We were just like, "Oh, can I ask you yo?" I said in this post, I said, just don't say, "Can you ask me a question?" Just ask the fucking question. Like, you're disturbing my fucking peace by even sending me a message. Please have something very important to say. Like, what is your question? Right? And so someone comments, this lady comments on my post, and she's like, "Can you imagine someone becoming so irate just because someone says, 'Hey, how are you?' Just a greeting and asking you, 'How are you doing?' Can you imagine someone becoming so irate?" I felt so fucking disrespected by her comment. I mean, no surprise. I immediately, without hesitation, blocked this person. I sure did. I blocked her, and I recognized her handle, her name, but I definitely blocked her because I'm just like, bitch. First of all, this is my space. It is up to me. I want to entertain anyone who sends me a message. I really, for the most part, I don't entertain no one really who inboxes me. And that's the reason why I have an automated message that says, when you send me an inbox on Facebook, how you can reach me, right? And I pick and choose who I want to reply to. But it just goes to show, like, I have created such a level of fucking peace. Please do not disturb it with some bullshit. Most of y'all, like, listen, most people, not just listen in the virtual world, but even like in the real world, like, people just don't have anything to add, anything to say. Like, what is it? And I'm wrong? I'm wrong now because I set boundaries. And I'm just clearly not interested in people of the sorts, right? And so the second person, this guy, he's just, I find it so funny because, like, they be trying, they be like, they be vying so hard for my attention. And then I'm like, I'm not interested. He's asking me, he was like, "Oh, you come here often?" I was like, "I come here sometimes and usually on Fridays, but it's not like a regular fucking every Friday thing. But I have been here several times." And he gets perked up and he's like, "Oh, you gonna come next Friday?" And I'm just like, And he's like, "I want you to come." "Why?" It's like, "Oh, I just, I want to connect." Like, basically saying he wants to, be friends. But I don't, like, that's just me. Maybe I don't know. Is it me for those who are watching? Is it me? I'm not really in a need to have friends. And as far as connection, like I said, like, what the why? Like, what is it that you bring that I can benefit from, that I need? And I'm looking, I just don't see it in people. So I'm wrong. I just don't see it. And so he's just like, he's looking at me and he can sense that, it's not really going anywhere. So I'm just like, I had to tell him, and it's funny when you have to break the news, especially as a woman. I know women can relate when you have to break that news to a man. Like, you know what? I'm not interested. But this is a man who said that he's married. He's like, "Oh, my wife." Like, you have a whole fucking wife and you sitting here trying to connect. He was like, "Oh no, it's just like, I just want to get to know you. You seem like a really cool person. Like, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 blah. He's just trying so hard. And listen, I'll give him cool points, right? Just for being assertive, just expressing what he likes, right? I think it takes a lot of confidence. It's a big risk for a man to just step out there, of course, knowing that you really don't stand much of a chance, But it's clear, it's evident, like, men who have tried this numerous times, and it, like, becomes a pattern for them, right? And like, you can tell, right, a man that, okay, this is not his first rodeo, right? He's done this many times over. And it's funny because I just had to drop the bomb on him. I'm like, you know what? I'm not interested. I'm not interested in being your friend. I'm not interested in getting to know you. I'm not interested in us chatting any further or meeting next Friday. No, I'm not interested in none of that, right? I just kind of really want to be left alone. That's what it is. And so then he's like, okay, but like, he kind of steps away and he's looking so disappointed, right? And of course, like, he has like people with him. So there's a guy that comes in and he like meets him, a black guy. And I was just like, okay. And I'm wondering, like, okay, where's his wife? The whole time I'm wondering, because he said that he was waiting on his wife. Yo, you got a whole wife out here in these streets. The fuck are you talking to me for? And listen, I'm the kind of woman, you gotta understand something about me. Let me tell you what kind of woman I am. So, of course, I've been off and on the dating scene and come across guys that definitely have kids, right? Me, that's definitely not my type. Though I have dated men with kids, but not my preference, right? And so for men who have kids that come in my sphere, I'm the kind of woman, I'm like this, I've said this shit so many times to men. I'm like, listen, go to your baby mama. Talk to her. Like, why the fuck are you talking to me? You have kids. Why are you talking? The energy that you're giving me, the attention that you're giving me, go give it to her. Oh, well, we're not together. I don't care. I don't want your attention. I'm a woman, so I identify with women first and foremost, right? And I have men that be like, oh, well, why you seem like you're taking her side. You don't even know her, but you listen, I'm a woman. Fuck that. I'll put myself in women's shoes. I'll be damned. If I carry any man's fucking baby 9 goddamn months and he throw away me and treat me like I'm worthless, and then he got nerve to be out here talking to all these different women, like, fuck that. That's the reason why I'm single now, because I don't see how women position themselves in that mind frame to accept that kind of bullshit. A lot of these men should not be walking, like, this is just my belief, and we're all entitled to our own belief system, right? But my belief is a lot of men, y'all motherfuckers walk around here bold as fuck, dick swinging and all of that. Y'all motherfuckers should be dead. A lot of niggas should be dead walking around this motherfucker. But no, y'all walk around here with too much confidence, dropping your seeds in different women. Got the fucking audacity. Just got the audacity. Could not be me. And I find, I laugh, and I think I kind of creep this third person out. So after I let this guy know, right, the second guy who complimented me, right, and I had to let his ass know, not it. Another guy comes up. I was like, what is this? They don't Danielle night. Like I say, this is not anything out of the ordinary, but I'm feeding off this shit. So guy comes up, and granted, no, this next guy, like, he's very attractive, dark skin, deep melanated, that chocolate. I'm talking about that charcoal deep melanated skin. He got the salt and pepper look with his beard, you know. Just like clean shaven, looking nice, looking fresh, right? And he was going hard too, just I don't know, just trying. And I find it funny because listen, I'll let a nigga ride out. Like, go ahead, shoot your shot, ride that shit on out. I'm soaking it all on in. So he's like coming with it. Oh man, you're so beautiful. Those eyes, right? And he's, you know, putting the energy in it. Oh man, the whole facial expressions and everything, your eyes, so beautiful. Blase, blase, blase. I'm like, just soaking it all in, right? Then he's, you know, of course, trying to make me feel comfortable, trying to soften my defenses and sharing with me pretty much who he is, what he does, where he lives, his tax bracket, thinking that shit gonna win me over. I'm like, listen, I guess I'm just too smart for my own good. And like I said, I run circles around these motherfuckers. I don't really care who you are, how much money you are. Listen, I've come across, you gotta know, like I'm well experienced. Like I've lived life in so many words, right? I've dated millionaires. This ain't even by no stretch of the imagination. Of course, living out in Los Angeles, living out in Hollywood. I've been up in Hollywood Hills, right? Like I've been exposed to all of that. So it's like I'm not really wild. I can't really be wild, right? But he's trying, and so he's like, yeah, you know, I live out in Brighton Beach. I live like a block away from I can walk to the beach. And he's telling me, you know, he's in the entertainment industry. Blase, all the A-list celebrities he works with, and blase, and like that shit really, like, it's not moving me. Because I don't really care about that. I mean, yeah, I can get people's attention, right? You know, a man attaching himself, his worth to high value qualities, right? Characteristics. And how, oh, you know, he's partner of a multi-million-dollar business, close to $1 billion, blase, blase. I'm like, okay, so it all sounds, I get it, right? But that's not a pickup line for me. I don't think really any pickup line works for me. And that's the thing, because guys try to come with all kind of pickup lines. Truth or not, it just don't work for me. I'm a show kind of person. Like, you got to show me. All that talking, he was doing hella talking. And like I say, physically, he was attractive. Like, I'm feeling the dude, right? Like, the energy, because otherwise, if the physicality ain't there, get the fuck out of my face. I'm like, get your ugly ass out of my face, because I can turn up, okay? Right? So I have no problem going there with any man or any person for that matter. But it's just like, So yeah, he was hitting for something physically. I'm feeling the energy, soaking up all of the compliments and all of the attention. And it's funny because it's like, then you know, of course, after he shares like what he does, and, you know, where he is in terms of socioeconomic status, I'm getting the vibe, getting the feel of, okay, all right, it's to do with money, okay. Then, of course, you know, he asked me several times. I didn't answer initially, but he asked, oh, what do you do? Didn't really answer. And then he kind of had to come around again, you know, asking me what's my place in New York, what I do. And I'll eventually tell him, right? And then it's funny, people's reaction when I tell them what I do. They're just like, they pause and they had to think. And they're just like, okay, yeah. Because you realize you can't get over. But then they still try, though. They're like, okay, yeah, okay. She's a psychologist. But let me see how really smart she is. Please, like this, yo, I do this shit for a living. And even beyond me doing this for a living, this is who I am. You cannot hustle me. You cannot manipulate me. Like I'm 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 steps ahead. You just cannot. But I find it funny because I don't play the game. So this is the fun part. I don't play the game with anybody, male or female. I will play the fucking game, professional or personal. Spear. Let's play the game. And the funny part is like after the game is played, I always get the fucking last laugh. It's so funny to me. I walk away and I'm just like, so playing the game, he up in my face, he getting close. Listen, me being the spontaneous person I am, I go with it. So we sitting there, we face to face. He all up in between my legs. And I'm there. I'm just like, we can play this game. And it came around to me just going straight to the punch. And I'm asking him, like, what is the problem? Why are you not partnered? And then he pauses. And I'm just like, okay. Okay. I was like, you hold that thought, you think about it for a little bit more. I'm about to go to the bathroom. I come back from the restroom, right? Do a little small talk. And he's just like, oh, I'm ready to answer your question. You want to play? I will play. See, this is funny because like you have to just see it in action. Well, I can say all day, I promise you I will run circles around your ass. I promise you, any man, I'm smarter than your ass, right? But it's like they don't really experience it and feel it until it's in action. And they see like, okay, damn. And granted, let me tell you, this person I'm talking about now, 18 years older than me. His bank account, I'm sure, is deeper than mine. I'm sure it's much deeper than mine. But I'm still 10 steps ahead. It's just, this is the funny part, yo. So, come back and he, is explaining to me his situation. And he's just like, well, I am involved in this partnership with a woman who he's telling me about, the whole investment, right? And I understand business. I'm a businesswoman myself, right? And I'm reading, I'm listening, I'm very observant, I'm listening. And I'm seeing what his process is like. All of this definitely is ego stroking. And that's the thing about me. I will I will let a motherfucker's ego get stroked. Right? Because in that process, they feeling empowered, they feeling strong, right? They feeling undefeated. I'm with the shits. I'm letting this ego get stroked. Because in his mind, he's thinking, I'm believing everything. Yeah, go ahead and paint the picture that you want to paint. Tell the story that you want to paint. I'm all for it. I'm all ears, right? I'm appearing to be very impressed. I'm wowed by everything that you're saying. And the funny thing, he's just like I can see it all in his eyes, so starry-eyed, like, oh my gosh, I never met a woman like you. That's bullshit, right? But of course, you definitely ain't met no woman like my ass because he's feeling himself. He's all in his own skin. You never met a woman that makes you feel like the man that you want to be, that you aspire to be. You haven't quite yet achieved that level that you want to be and want to portray yourself as. And of course, I'm going to make you feel like that because, I'm with the shits. I'll make your ass feel good. He's feeling that shit. He's feeling the top of the fucking world in the space that we were in tonight. And I'm like, I'm watching this shit because y'all know I'm all about that power play, yo. I'm with it. We face to face, toe to toe. No other person matters in the world but him in front of me, right? He's thinking he's running game, giving me his undivided listen. I match your energy, yo. I'm with it. Let's do this dance. Let's play. I be telling motherfuckers, I'm dangerous, yo. I have to separate myself from people because I know how dangerous of a person I am. You know, I give myself space. I give other people space from me. I have to, yo, because like, yo, you don't want this. You just don't want this, yo. So I'm there. And yo, at this point, like I can see his head just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And how this is happening is because, okay, he's at a space, and this is a space that I've been to before. I frequent, but it seems like he frequent this space more than I do. And he said, like, okay, this is his neighborhood. He used to live there. He no longer lives there, but he comes there, right? And I can tell, like, he's a person that is known at that space because other people are coming, like other men coming up to him, giving him dap, what's up, what's up? He knows the DJ, right? So he's known at this space, right? And this is a very popular space in Brooklyn. And so I'm peeping game, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh. I said, oh, you the man, huh? He said, ah. I was like, yeah, I see you the man. Everybody coming to you, giving you dap, blah, 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 blah. And they come in looking at me, these guys checking me, and I'm like looking their ass up and down, checking their ass too. Okay, what you want, right? So, like I said, this one, his head is big because it's just like, I'm looking at all of this shit. I'm looking at all the whole environment, seeing, oh. So he feeling on top of the world, and they looking like, yeah, you got you one, right? Everybody coming up, what's up, man? What's up, man? Blah, 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 blah. And so it came around to the point where I'm like, okay, I gotta cut this shit short. Because he thinking, like in his mind, yo, he was at that point. Like it definitely had reached that point where in his mind, he, without a shadow of a doubt, like he's so certain, got me one, wrote me one in. And it's funny because I kind of hinted to him like throughout our conversation. Granted, the conversation, we were talking for about a good, I would say about a good hour. Could have been longer, but I would say at least an hour. And I kind of hinted at him like, I said, oh, you do this like a regular, huh? You're a professional at this. He still ain't catching it. He still ain't catching the vibe. He still ain't catching the drift. Right? Still trying to pick one up, right, and get one over. And because he's persistent, I like a man that's persistent. I like a man that's assertive, that goes for what he wants, is unrelenting. That shit turned me on. So of course, like I feed into it. Like I'm with him. I play the game. It's the fucking weekend. It's a holiday season. I got shit else to do. Let's play the game. And now, granted, when it came around to the conversation to clarify, okay, what is his relationship status, right? And I'm asking, I say, why are you not partnered? And he's just like, he had to pause. But when I came back from the restroom, he explains, he's like, yeah, well, I have this lady that I met. He's going all the way around the motherfucking whole neighborhood with his response. Instead of just going straight to the punch, right? And so I'm just like, just say what it is. He's giving me the backstory. Oh, I met this woman 3 years ago during the pandemic, and she explained to me that, what business, right? What enterprise she's in. And, as time progresses, right, he's telling me, like her net worth and what she's doing and all of this. I get it. It's all a pickup line, right? His way of trying to keep my interest and thinking that's going to reel me in. And so I'm listening. I'm just like, okay. I say, so. And he's like, well, we're not really together, though we had sex, but I'm not happy. You're not happy. And this is the shit that annoys me because it's just like, okay, he think he got him one, but I really got me one because I'm all, this is the playground that I love to play in. Granted, this is, like I said, I do this shit for a living. I do this shit for fun too. I love to dig deep and analyze a man's mind, especially when I can see it ain't all there and he's desiring. Because granted, mind you now, at this point, and even before this point, just in general, y'all know this. He should have known this, but that's why I say, like, motherfuckers, these men, they're not really that smart. Because if they are, they would know, like, listen, it should be clear. And I hate to put it this way, but for lack of a better expression, and I've said it in so many words before I get to this point in the video, like, I don't need a fucking man. Yes, I can benefit from one, but to say that you need, all right, that's a pretty strong statement. Like, I've lived this long in my life, up to 40 years old, without a partner. Meaning I can exist. I can do this shit alone. One may say, is it ideal? That can be up for debate. But essentially, he in this moment needs me. He's just desiring something from me. I desire nothing, right? I'm just there. I'm existing, right? I'm enjoying my time out. I come to this place with no expectations. It's clear he came there expecting and searching. And I said that, it's clear. I can see that you're desiring something. There's a void. You want something. You're here. It's something that you're seeking. Yet you say you're a partner. So whatever you're seeking, why can't you get that from her? Like, what is the issue here? Why are you all in my motherfucking face? Why can't you get that from her? Oh, it took him a while to really get to the nitty gritty, but he just was like, well, I have this investment, right? And I own 50% of the company, and telling me about all the moves they're about to make and the meetings they have with the mayor of Atlanta, all this fucking business jargon, right? And I'm with it. And like I say, I'm in that world myself. But I'm not impressed necessarily by that, right? Because I'm looking past that, looking at him as a person, looking at his soul. Like I'm seeing all through the external, through all that bullshit, and looking at his soul, just like, And I'm just like, yeah, what are you seeking? Why are you here? And I asked him, came to a point where I asked him, I said, where is she? Like at this moment, oh, she's home. Okay. So tell me again, like, why are you here? Like, what are you? He's like, I'm not happy though. And I say, well, what is it that you're seeking? And he just kept saying like, oh, well, I'm not really happy. I'm not. I say, so what is it that you're seeking that she does not have? He was like, everything. Everything? I say, but she has something because you're partnered with her. Yeah, she does. And it'll be a big mistake if I were to leave, given my investment, right, in the company that we built together. That's very lucrative. Okay. So she comes with all of this. And you mean to tell me after y'all done got to all all listen, all the shit that y'all done built, all this money that's involved, and you mean to tell me at this point you realize she's not the one? He's like, yeah. I said, no, it's not making any sense at all. It's not making no sense. So please make it make sense. He was like, well, I knew it from the beginning. Okay, if you knew this from the beginning, yet you entered into a partnership with her, why didn't you leave it at that? Keep it business, right? No, but you wanted to you crossed that boundary with her and made it sexual. He was like, well, that's what she wanted. No, that's what you wanted as well. And now you're saying she's unattractive to you? The nerve. Disgusting. The nerve of you, right? Because listen, I'm a woman first. First of all, I'm an African woman, right? But I'm a woman. African, yes. And then I'm a woman. So I'm going to identify with her. Say it as taking her side. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, what the fuck? The utmost disrespect. That's debauchery. And I'm looking at him. I say, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I'm looking at him with disgust. And granted, this is funny. Listen, like I said, I'm with this shit. I will go there. This is what I do. I'm a therapist. And I can go there with a person. I'm not afraid to go there. Deep down, nitty gritty, baby. And so he definitely wasn't expecting this because, like, we're kind of in an intimate space. And our body language is kind of like intimate, right? He definitely kind of crossed that boundary, but I still maintain a certain level of space, certain distance. But we were kind of there. We up each other's spear, right? Sitting face to face, our fucking knees down there touching, right? And I'm just like, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And y'all got to go back and watch my other video that I made on this couple that I met in Harlem who, is it from the UK? From over there, right? From England. I'll go find a video. I just made that video recently. Kind of similar scenario. I was like, man, trying to run game. Now, in that situation, he was with his wife, trying ever so hard. Like, yeah, dangerous motherfucker. You got a whole man, like a whole husband in front of your wife right there. Right? Fucking, are you that desperate? Or am I just that beautiful? What is it? Tell me. Right? So, and I'm telling this guy, I'm just like, you ought to be ashamed. I'm taking my fingers and I'm digging in his fucking chest tonight. Aiming at his fucking chest. Fingers like a gun shape in this motherfucker. Say, you ought to be ashamed of your fucking self. And he feeling bad and shit. Looking like shit. He was like, why you say that? Like, you dead ass wrong. You dead ass wrong. And yet, he's still trying, yo. I was like, listen, I respect your persistence, but I say it's a no-go. I'm not interested. He was like, just still trying to get my phone number. And at this point, I'm getting up. I'm grabbing my bag. About to exit. I'm headed towards the exit. And he's like, what you doing? I said, I'm about to go home. That's what the fuck I'm about to do. What are you doing? Oh, I just want to walk you. He's like, asked me, did I take the train? Yes. Oh, no. Hell no. Hell no. And yet he being so persistent, this motherfucker trying so hard. He was like, oh, I just want to show me one of his artists, right? Because he's in the entertainment industry. And playing the music, I'm just like really not interested to hear none of that shit. But that was his way of trying to buy time, right? So he could spend more time with me. He was like, well, I would love to, for us to communicate. And I say, listen, I get it. You want to take my, you can have the number. It's just digits. You can have the number. I say, I don't know what you're going to do with it. It's like, I'm going to call you. But it is mine, right? It is mine. He thinks that, because he was telling me that his so-called partner, even though they don't live together, that she's headed to go to Atlanta. He's going to stay here. And he said in the midst of all of this, he's hoping that they can part ways and they will eventually find love. But, and like I say, I can play the game all the way now. Of course, it ain't going to be nothing more than that because I'm not interested. I expressed to him when we were there at the restaurant that there's nothing you have that I want. And what I want, you're not capable of providing. I said that directly to his ass. And he's looking like, he's shaking his head like, you can't provide what I want. You will never be able to provide. And I said this after I expressed curiosity and what he wanted. It's clear, but I wanted him to articulate it with his mouth, with his words. It's very clear from the jump, like what he wants. No fucking surprise. Ain't no goddamn rocket science. He's looking for intimacy. He's looking for connection. He's looking for fun. And I said that to him. I was like, you here for fun. You're looking for a woman to, I say, and what you're looking for, you can get any woman. So don't sit up here and throw me that bullshit like I'm just so special. He's trying to use reverse psychology. It's like, oh, well, you should believe in yourself and believe that you have blah, blah. Listen, I know who the fuck I am. I know you ain't got to tell me and try to act like you trying to pour some shit and speak fucking knowledge and highlight my goddamn self-worth, my value. I know who the fuck I am. So none of that shit, what you saying, has any bearing on me, right? And it's like the more I assert myself, the more turned on his ass was getting, right? So this is the whole dance, this is the whole game that we're playing. But I'm like, it ain't working. It's not going to work. I'm not interested. But yeah, he still thinks he has a chance because, like I said, I'm with this shit. I'm playing a game. Because I gain pleasure. And I don't know if y'all probably knows, but y'all probably have. This reason why I attract a lot of motherfucker beta men that watch my videos. Y'all some beta, submissive, sucker ass, bitch made motherfuckers that watch my shit. Y'all get turned on by this shit, yo. You get turned on. One may say it's a form of abuse, but not. If you asking for the shit and you like it, you derive pleasure from a woman getting up in your mind, manipulating, twisting that shit all out of shape. Y'all like that. I can tell. Like, I'm looking at his eyes. Deep. He's talking about he like my eyes. And he looking at my eyes. Fuck all that. I'm looking at his shit. And I'm like, yo, you like this shit. And I'm playing a game with him because, of course, like I said, I'm all about power exchange. And I can go deep with it. And so for a moment, definitely, I let him feel like he had the power. I gave him that much. But then just as sure as a person can give something, you can take it away. And I snatched that shit. He didn't even see it, yo. He didn't even see this shit coming. I snatched that shit right on back. And his ass just sitting up in that little chair. He's sitting up there like the 58-year-old man that he is. As much money as he got, he's sitting up there helpless, powerless. Had his ass right around my finger. And to see that, yo, that's why, yo, I just sitting there laughing. I'm laughing out loud hysterically, yo. He's just like, why are you laughing at me? Don't fucking play with me, man. Y'all, listen. I know what I be doing when I be saying to myself, don't play with me. Listen, this is just a little exchange at the bar at this restaurant. Definitely ain't gonna go no further than that. I don't want it to. And I'm looking at him like I could take it there, but you don't want to take it there. You don't listen. You don't want to take it there. You don't want to go there. And I just leave it, like I said, where it's at, even with the other guy I met at Legos, successful business owner. And I attract those kind too. You got to come with some to match my caliber, to even get my interest. And they know that shit. The other guy I met at Legos, he owned a few restaurants. And I left his ass right where his ass was at. Like, nah. But to me, the fun part is like in knowing my power and seeing it manifest and knowing where I could take it and then just leaving their ass right there. And they looking at me like, well, damn, you ain't gonna. And dude has my number. He has my number. And he messaged me, he called me. That's the fun part for me because it's just like, nigga, you thought. And sometimes, like, depending, I'll take it there. I'll take it a step further beyond that, right? And I'll play the little dance with motherfuckers. But then I realized, you know what? I can't do this. Because then I started to feel bad. Just like, you know what? I'm going to let you live. And the funny thing, the phrase, the term that he brought up was he wants to feel free. And that's the reason why I made this video, because I want to ask y'all, people who are in relationships, married men especially, like, how is it that you are married? Marriage is supposed to be this beautiful thing. You're in love with the person of your dreams, so to speak, but you don't feel free. How is that? Why are you in a relationship and you don't feel like, that's why I'm single. Motherfuckers think that single life be miserable and lonely and blase. No, you ain't shit lonely about it, because listen, the funny thing is I think this is where people are misled into thinking that just because a person is single, that, they don't have options or they're lonely. Lonely means that you're desiring some connection. You're desiring to be with someone. But you don't have that option or opportunity. That's bullshit. Especially women. I mean, really, men or women. Really, nobody is like, anybody could be with anybody they want to be with. It ain't about that. Don't be mistaken. People who are single, listen, choose to be single. Ain't no motherfucking body lonely out here. You choose to be in that position. I choose this because it's just like I said at the start of the video. What is it that I am gaining? Nothing. But I have my moments where I may want to entertain a relationship until I don't, right? Until I get bored. And I feel like the relationships that excite me the most is men who could definitely go toe to toe with my ass. Which means clearly you got to match my level of intellect or be smarter. Keep me entertained. Otherwise, it just gets boring. I definitely like that dance, though. And I'm going to say this and I'm about to wrap it up. The dangerous part, I think, comes in, and I'm definitely aware of this. It's like people really have emotions, and especially men. Y'all, men really be the ones that, talking about women emotional, men be the ones that really be feeling it, and they get hurt. they really be emotionally invested. And I can definitely come with that level of emotional investment, but I'm not investing something that is not worth investing in, right? Like I have the emotional depth to invest, but it has to be worth giving, right? And sharing this investment with someone. And I make people earn it. Oh, you got to put the work in. You got to, like I said, my love language is quality time. But irrespective of that, like just me being me, my personality, um, you just have to really know. You have to like know people who are like this. There's some people watching this or listening to this audio recording that are very much comfortable being alone. Like I said, that can be a dangerous thing because when you think of like granted, yes, of course, I'm a psychologist. I see patients. I work with people, patients, and my colleagues. I'm exposed. I live in fucking New York City, for heaven's sake, right? So of course, I'm exposed to people on a regular basis. But for a person who is so rooted in themselves and being alone, and I have mastered that like a god, that can be very dangerous. People look at me and say, how can you go out to eat by yourself? How can you go out to movies and even travel and move across the country? I moved to New York City, not ever having lived here, by myself. I moved to Los Angeles, California, without ever having visited, by myself. Do you not know the level of confidence, of self assurance, and security that it takes to do such thing? I'm a person, I want to travel internationally actually as a preference, by myself. I spend a significant amount of time alone by myself. And I think for people who are the opposite, or what one may say, quote unquote, normal people, um, yeah, I've been around them, dated them, and they feel so weirded out in relationships with me because they just like, how can she just sit here all day and we live together, we exist together, we're supposed to be in love, but not make connection with me? Like, men, I think I've experienced this. Unless, of course, the man is my fucking mirror image, but I'm thinking about particularly men who are a little, a little different, slightly different, because I usually attract kind of similar minded, similar energy people. But for those who aren't, it's just like, how can she do it? And you talking about, how relationships, couples call themselves getting mad and see who can go the longest without breaking the silence. Listen, I got that shit off rip. I won before the argument even started. Like, you can't win, right? You cannot win if that is your level of fight or competition against me. See how long we can go without speaking. Who's gonna break the silence and give in and call the other person first, or say something? And I know it seems petty, but it's just like, I can exist. I can live with a whole entire person and not say anything to you. Carry on as if you don't even exist. Because in fact you don't. Like, that's the level of of mastermind that I reach, and who I am. It takes a lot of self-control, discipline. And I think it's just kind of inbred in me too. My dad, definitely a splitting image of my father, and that's just who he is. His personality. He prefers to be alone. He lives alone now. He's happy. He's comfortable, right? Just to be able to exist. But tell me, y'all, what is it about married men? Like, what the fuck? It's like they're craving something, chasing after the wind. And listen, I'm the last woman you want to come across, because I'm with it. And I'm about duality. And for some people, it may say, oh, well, that's evil. You're evil. Nah. Be careful. Careful, 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 careful. I'm about duality. And I can go into some really dark spaces, and I like it. I love it, in fact. And funny enough, he kind of mentioned that he was saying to tap it kind of into like, oh, his reflection, his dark reflection of who he is, right? But it ain't darker than me. You being in your dark space, your dark reflection of yourself, it ain't darker than mine. I can guarantee you that. We want to compete who can go deeper into the darkest space? It's not. I promise you. That's why I laugh, yo. I laugh like several times, and I continue to laugh when it comes to these interactions and these encounters. Because it is not going to get deeper and darker than my space. I do this shit. Game recognized game. I've come across witches. I won't like to call people who deal in spirituality in the deepest sense witches, but I've come across people who identify themselves as witches on social media. Like this one woman, she's like, yeah, you're a witch. I knew that. Right? I don't know this woman in real life, in person, but from the exchanges that we had, she said that. And I was just like, what you know. But I find it interesting because people who deal within like this level of spirituality, they like I said, game recognize game, and they recognize your spiritual rank. I know I have high spiritual rank, but they recognize, they back the fuck off. Yeah, you better back the fuck off. Because we can go there, and like I said, this shit is fun for me. And I'm like, even now, he has my number, I have his number, and I'm thinking like, do I want to? Do we want to play that kind of game? Do we really want to play? Which direction we want to go with this? What lesson do I want to teach at the end of the day? Because I'm all about teaching lessons. What lesson do I really want to teach with this? And I had to let his ass know, you ought to be ashamed of your goddamn self. And he got a little shaken for a minute. He's like, Because I'm come from the space, you better watch the fuck out. Because what you doing is dead ass wrong. And I say, you need to let her know. Just like you letting me, you telling me, oh, you're unhappy. What the fuck you telling me that shit for? Why you not telling her that shit? Oh, I told her in so many ways. In so many ways? Do you need help? Do you need fucking help? Do you need help? He just take pride and cherish and just fucking glorifying this enterprise that he's built on the money. None of that shit really means anything to me. It ain't my fucking money. And I'm looking at his ass. I'm about to end this fucking video. I'm looking at his ass like, maybe you need to be taught a fucking lesson. Maybe motherfucker really need to be taught a lesson. Destroy all that shit. I've been there, done that, and it's to destroy all that shit, my nigga. You playing with fire? Oh, I got pretty eyes, huh? Oh, you beautiful, huh? Hmm. You know, I get it. We all have needs. I get it. I understand. End of the day, you know, people take to other people as objects to fulfill their need. You better be motherfucking careful. The object you come across. I promise you. Promise you without a shadow of a doubt, your life will never be the fucking same. And I still don't know what the fuck happened to my ex. I be saying this shit. I still don't know what the hell happened to my ex, yo. I don't know. All I know, he was ill one day, and poof, vanished the next. And I'm laying in bed one day. This is in LA. I'm laying in bed, like, and I was sleeping, but then I was like waking out of my sleep to a spirit, yo. That's a fucking spirit peering through. He just kind of hovered over my window, opened my eyes, and I let out this loud scream, yo. I had to, because I'm just like, what that shit, yo. And I ain't usually shaking. I'm not usually shaken by fucking spirits because I deal with this shit. But when I tell you, I'm like, this motherfucking spirit came to haunt my ass. What the fuck is that? Show your face. That's all I can say. Yeah, motherfucker ain't gonna show because you know. Yeah. You met the right one here. You met the fucking right one. But yeah, this is all fun. That's why I leave people where they at, because I'm like, okay, I'm not here to cause harm, you know. I'm here to just really, I'm just here to live my life in peace. But we could definitely exchange energy if that's what you want. Definitely exchange energy and play around. And this is the thing, because I deal in that spirit realm, I sense that this person, because obviously there's a spirit that's operating through him, within him, right? And it came to me. I didn't definitely approach his ass. I don't approach motherfuckers, really. Like, they come to me. He's drawn to me, and I felt like obviously his spirit sent to me for a reason. And like I said, we can go there. He got 4 kids. I'm like, what? Motherfucker got 4 kids. His youngest kid is 16. The oldest is 4 years younger than me. And when I tell him that, because he's dying to know my age, he's like, oh my gosh. He said that he thought I was in my 20s, my late 20s, between like 25, 28, 30. But I think that's why I say looks can be deceiving, because people often think that, and it's not just in my personal life, but definitely in my that's the reason why motherfuckers they get over too. So it can come, this old pretty face or young looking aura can come with its advantages and disadvantages. People try to get over, and this shit disgusts the fuck out of me. And when I have to turn the tables on motherfuckers, I have to put my juju on their ass, you know. Listen, they have to get it, but it's just like that sometimes does disgust me, because yeah, looks can be very deceiving, and they just so happen to come across the wrong motherfucker, and it backfire on their. I seen that shit so many times. It backfire on their ass, and it's a joy. It's just a pleasure to see when it backfire. When I look at them like, damn, it's, yeah, it's such a pleasure to see it. And then that person kind of withers away. Yeah. What is it, guys? Let me know.